Does not the United States' very large military aid, billions and billions of dollars to Israel, give you some leverage over how the war is conducted?
I guess if we wanted to tell them what to do, we would, but they're our partner. We respect the fact that they were attacked on October the 7th. They're not the attacking country. They were the attacked country.
Sure, but the question,
and there were 1,200 people. No, Sarah,
yes,
let me,
please,
I'm
go ahead.
going to stop you there. Because I'm so tired of people blaming Israel for the fact that it's defending themselves against the monsters who raped women in front of their families, who mutilated their bodies, who burned babies, who beheaded people, who burned elderly people in their wheelchairs, who took 250 people hostage, continued to torture them, many of them Holocaust survivors, many of them children and infants. And somehow we're supposed to blame Israel because it's trying to defend its country? No, I'm sorry. We're not going to tell them how to defend themselves.
As I have said many times on this, Arab League has welcomed this recognition of a Palestinian state. But let's move on. Let me ask you a different question.
But they weren't calling for it last week, Sarah. They weren't calling for it last week. They were calling for Hamas to lay down their arms and surrender the hostages. And I think it's an issue of timing. So I want to be very clear that, of course, they probably all support a second state, but they knew that there's a time and a place. Last week wasn't the time or the place.
Well, let me ask you as a starting point for any discussion on this conflict, that the idea of a two-state solution is dead.
The idea of a two-state solution is only alive if Israel and the Palestinian Authority can figure out a way to make it work. But as long as you have people chanting from the river to the sea, as long as the Palestinian Authority continues to pay terrorists stipends for murdering Jews.
I think to be clear that Mahmoud Abbas, the head of the Palestinian Authority, has committed to stop doing that. But please continue.
No, actually, he hasn't. Sarah, he said in Arabic that if there's only one penny left in the treasury, that penny will go to the martyrs. So whatever he may say in one language to sound as if he's appeasing, the truth is he has not given up on that policy. It's still going on today.
Talk to me about the US. This is really a question as to whether or not the US is becoming isolated. Australia's Foreign Minister Penny Wong said they had to do this because shortly, given what we've heard from the Israelis in relation to annexing the West Bank, there would be no state left to recognise. So how do you respond to that?
Well, I would be very quick to tell you, I don't think the United States feels isolated at all. You ask, do we feel isolated? No, we don't. We're a sovereign country. So is Israel. So is Australia. Australia can do what it wants to do. But we certainly don't have to agree with it. We don't have to like it. We don't have to pretend that it's okay. Because in our view, it's not okay. And it was ill-timed. And I think when hostages are being held and tortured, not just held, they're not being fed. They're being forced to dig their own graves. We've seen the videos. And for this to come at a time like this, further endangering them and endangering any hopes of some peaceful resolution of dealing with Hamas and getting them to lay down their arms. And here's, Sarah, something I think is very important to note. In the very week that the Australian government, along with many others, were declaring publicly for a Palestinian state, you know who wasn't declaring for a Palestinian state? The Arab League. What they were calling for that very week was for Hamas to disarm and to let all of the hostages go.
I think I just have to interrupt you there, Ambassador.
Well, it's largely meaningless, right? It's symbolic, and they're doing it primarily for one reason, and that is their internal politics, their domestic politics. Yeah, the truth of the matter is that the future of that region is not going to be decided by some UN resolution. It's not going to be decided by some press release by a prime minister or a president from some country. It's going to be decided on the ground. In fact, but all these statements are meaningless. Like they're not going to change anything.